All right, we're going to take you now to a live interview right outside of the courthouse. We're actually getting it ready as we speak, so we're going to take you to that now so you can hear what they're saying. Let's go.
P-I-N.
Is that a capital A?
Yes.
Talk about the outcome. Was it what you were expecting with the sentence?
So I didn't really know what to expect with the sentence. That's largely in the judge's hands. Fairly certain it was going to be between 15 and 25, and it hit right in the middle. So I guess it's what we expected.
Will the sentences be served consecutive or concurrent?
They are concurrently.
And anything on parole? I know they didn't speak about that.
Right. So this crime occurred before the current law, the current Truth in Sentencing Act that the legislature passed in 2022. But since 1995, murder 2 has basically been non-parolable. In other words, you serve 85% of it. You're not guaranteed 15%, but you can earn up to 15% of that credit. So you're going to serve 85% of 20, and then the question becomes what happens on the last 15%.
Do you know off the top of your head how much time she served?
I don't.
Have you had any contact with the victims' families?
Yes.
What are they thinking and how are they doing?
I mean, they're doing as well as can be expected. Our thoughts are with the family of Brodes Perry and with Tabitha Archie. Yeah, I mean, it's tough. You can't. They appreciate the justice, but you can't make it not have happened. So yes, they're doing as well as can be expected.
Anything we didn't ask?
No, I mean, this was Collierville PD put a lot of work into this. TBI helped us out a lot. We appreciate that. No, I mean, we asked for first-degree murder. We thought the proof was there, but we're happy to get some justice for the victims.
Was his family here?
They were here on Zoom.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stand up if you want to.
Prosecution. You are listening right now to the prosecution. It was kind of an immediate interview directly after this sentencing has happened. And just a quick recap, just in case you were curious. He did say, okay, I think we have the defense team stepping up to the microphone now, so let's take you back out live to the courthouse.
Take the microphone down. Turn the phone back there. Think we're ready.
Say your first and last name and then spell them for us one more time.
Lauren Fuchs, Lauren Fuchs.
Arthur Horn, Arthurhorne.
20 years compared to the 13 and a half plus the additional time. How are you guys feeling about that? Not exactly what you wanted, but at least it wasn't the top part of that.
The 13.5 would have required the judge to find only mitigators and no enhancers. And an enhancement factor available in Tennessee is that a gun was used. A gun was used here. And so that then, since the judge chose to utilize that enhancement, which I believe is the only enhancement that she found, that put Latosha into a range 1 sentencing guidelines, which is from 15 to 25 years. So the judge hit right in the middle. While we respect the judge's decision, we do disagree with it. Latosha is someone who has led an exemplary life outside of this very small portion of time. Academically, and professionally, personally, she has led a good life, and we hoped the judge would place more weight on that when sentencing her to find more towards the 15 years rather than up towards the 20 where the judge did land.
The judge talked a lot about that the pastor did not walk her to the door, that made her snap. Is that what really was at the core of it, or was it more than that?
I think it was absolutely more than that. This was not an isolated incident that caused this break. And that's what happened. Latasha broke in that moment. That was the last thing that happened prior to the shooting. But that was not the defining moment. It was a culmination of events that led to this emotional and mental crisis.
I know last week when we were all here and we spoke with you, you had mentioned moving forward after this and appealing the decision. What does that process look like, and where do you guys go from here?
So the next step is what's called the motion for new trial. During that, we will outline grounds that we believe were errors during the trial or sentencing, and that lays the groundwork for the appeal. So 30 days after the motion for new trial, the notice of appeal will be due, and then that will start the appellate pipeline.
What do you think it says that so many of her family members and friends were present in court today?
I think it shows that she has an amazing support system, and she has that because she is a good person who did a bad thing. But that is not who she is. I think it was her cousin, Miss Brock, who said, this is not what should define her. And it shouldn't. She had, it was just a completely aberrant happening. But what should define her is how she has lived her life outside of the events of April the 4th, 2019.
Did we get to speak to her right after this? How
We
is she
did.
feeling?
She's taking it pretty hard. I think she was very optimistic that we were going to get a lower sentence, and I think you know, we're a little disappointed today. But again, Ms. Fuchs and I did a great job at trial. We were happy to get the verdict that we got, and although we were not necessarily happy with the sentence, it could have been worse. It could have been worse. So.
How did, we talked about last week, the 4 years that she already served, play into that? How do those play into that? Or do they?
That time will be taken off of the sentence as credit for time served. And then because of the offense date being in 2019, that predates the truth in sentencing. So on the second degree murder, she will be eligible to receive up to 15% good credit. So if she continues good behavior in the prison system, continues utilizing the programs as she has throughout and not getting write-ups, then she could receive 15% off of her sentence.
Anything we didn't ask?
I would just like to say, I mean, Ms. Fuchs will tell you, we work in these courtrooms every day. We go to sentencings every day, and in my 26 years of practicing law, I've never had a client that has done so much work on herself, work for other people, writing books to help other families that are going through this, and just the level of remorse that she showed, and just the work that she's done to better herself, to clearly show that she's never going to commit any other crimes. I mean, and so I think that for us was very difficult to watch, because we have people that get sentenced all the time, and you know, they never do the amount of work and the level of work that Ms. Daniels has done.
In the last 3.5 months that she's spent in prison, have y'all noticed any changes from then to now in her?
I think she was just optimistic about getting a better sentence, but I think she's going to still continue to do the work that she's been doing. I mean, that's just in her nature and in her heart.
Even since she went into custody after the trial verdict, she immediately enrolled in programs. She immediately started doing the self-reflection and path towards betterment that she had set herself on immediately after these events, recognizing the importance of addressing her mental health and staying on that path so that she does not ever end up in this type of situation again.
So are you guys considering appealing this decision?
Yes, I believe we will be appealing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you have been watching the defense attorneys speak after the sentencing. Of course, they said they were disappointed. They had hoped that the judge would find on the lighter side, closer to 15, as opposed to the heavier side, which was close to the 20 or 25. There was one enhancement that the judge was able to find, that was the fact that the gun was used, and that kept Latoshia Daniels from being able to be sentenced at that lower tier. Instead, she had to be moved up to the higher tier, which was that 15 to 25 year range. Again, she has been sentenced to 20 years for second-degree murder and 11 months and 29 days for reckless endangerment. Those will run concurrently. She does have some credit for time already served since she has been in custody, so that will take off of her overall sentence, and she is potentially eligible for the up to 15% of good time and good credit served at the back end of her sentence after she serves 85%.